So my question to you is, are you ready to change your life? Now, I'm going to ask you now, who's sending you here? Is it because someone in your family's told you have to quit? Or are you ready to quit? Just one of the things to just ponder on. Are you ready to make that change? Now, smoking is something that is, in my mind, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've never been a smoker, but I see it as a habit. So when I've seen all the clients I've seen here, the one thing they talk about is where they smoke. So they tell me about their journey. They get up in the morning, they have a cigarette. They go and get the car ready, they have a cigarette, or they go to the train station, they smoke on certain points on the route. What they never tend to tell me is how nice that cigarette is. Actually, if they talk about anything, it's how it's not that nice and how it's not such a great flavour. So what we do with hypnotherapy is we investigate. The first part of coming to see a hypnotherapist is almost kind of delving into your past, a bit like a CSI. We look at where you first started to smoke. So maybe you saw your parents smoke. Maybe it was a peer group thing back in the 70s and 80s. It was kind of the behind the bike shed thing. So looking at where you smoke, where it became that habit, and then also looking at where you smoke now. So looking at the places you do it. You know, if you smoke 20 a day, there's probably 20 places that you probably have a habit of going to, whether it be at work, at home, or wherever. It's looking at those habits and starting to clear out some of those links, realising that actually it's a habit. Nicotine only stays in the body for around about 48 to 72 hours. And after that, it's all about clearing out those habits. Now, then we look at other ways, so putting other things in place. So it might be using your mind to imagine those positive changes. Maybe the time. If you smoke 20 a day, you're going to have probably a couple of hours spare a day. What are you going to do with that time? Spare time to do all kinds of things. So it's looking at filling those times with positive things, and actually probably even forgetting about the smoking. As the video that you maybe see later on with one of my clients says, that he didn't even think about it. In fact, he thought about not thinking about it. It's empowering because it's something that controls us, and it's nice to have that control back. It's a stress on our life. So not only do we have whatever the stress is that's going on, whether it be a good or a bad stress, but then we have to tell ourselves off for having that cigarette and not wanting it. So it's about clearing another stress that we just don't need in our life, because I'm sure most of us have enough as it goes anyway. The hypnotherapy session itself is all about relaxation. So people say to me, am I going to be out for the count? Am I going to be asleep? No, it's a relaxed, focused state. So we get you to focus on me, on my voice, on your breath. And actually then we work through a series of a story, a suggestion that reinforces that it was all habits that you just don't need. You can clear them out by focusing on a positive journey. It's about showing you that with relaxation you can do anything, including relaxing in a room in a clinic that you just maybe have never been in before. So what about some of the benefits? So what can you hope to see when we look at stopping smoking? Well, how about, as I said, after 48, 72 hours, the nicotine's almost completely left the body. In 5 days, it's almost completely gone. After a week, taste and sense of smell should improve. Imagine the inner parts of your body without that layer of tarry cigarette. Things are going to start to taste like they should taste. So it's nice to have that sense of taste. You'll be experimenting with foods. Some might be too strong. Some you're going to really like when you really get to know them. It's about your skin feeling better. Imagine that at the moment that tar's got to come out somewhere. So it's going to come out in your pores. It's going to come out any way it can out of the body. starting to feel improvements in your appearance itself. It's about your lungs feeling like they're yours again. So at the moment, you might imagine that every time you go for a long walk, it's like going up Kilimanjaro, going up Everest. So it's being able to walk and feel comfortable again. And maybe you can imagine at the moment that if you had to go out for a walk for a mile or two, you'd be stopping for a breath and probably a cigarette. Whereas not having that cigarette, you can feel that you've got more energy and just keep going and going and going, and actually improving your cardiovascular fitness too, gaining another thing too. It's about it's about reducing your risk of heart disease by 50% in 12 months. It's about saving, potentially, if you smoke 20 a day these days, £4,000, and also saying to yourself, what am I going to spend that £4,000 on? Spend it on yourself. Allow that money to be your money, maybe for upgrading your car, going on a holiday, doing a course you've always wanted to do. Something for you. Something that you can put the money away, watch it growing, and have that control over a whole new thing, maybe a whole new change in training so that you can upgrade your career or change your career, who knows. You imagine in 10 years if you were saving £4,000 a year, that actually it's £40,000, and probably more so because cigarette prices go up and up and up. It's about reducing the risk of other health diseases, strokes, within 5 to 15 years. It's about taking that control of you. At the moment, that habit controls you. It controls what you do in the mornings, when you go to work. I'm guessing you don't really like that control, otherwise you wouldn't even be looking here. It's about taking that control back that probably you have in many other areas. So are you ready to take back the control of being a non-smoker again? And yes, I mean a non-smoker. If you are, just click on the link just below here. Book your consultation or book your session and make that change that can save your life, prolong your life. And people say, well, my family lived for years as smokers. They're the lucky ones. And I want you to be the lucky one because you quit, because you made that decision to quit, stop smoking, and take control of your life. So come and join me today. As I said, click on the link below and make that positive change for life.